So, you wanna play Shin Megami Tensei, huh? But you're scared? Well, pick yourself up, you silly little goose muffin, and prepare to learn. Today, we will be learning what makes Shin Megami Tensei special, what makes it play differently from other games. I'm going to give 3 games that you could start with, and I'm going to whine a fair amount. And more! Shin Megami Tensei is a long-running series of RPGs that are commonly known for summoning and fusing demons for survival, and their much more complex morality system, in which you are commonly able to side with demons, and no choice is without merit. Most of the time. Okay, that might have been a bit much to take in all at once, especially for one uninitiated to the franchise. Let's take that sentence apart. Shin Megami Tensei, or SMT, is a series that has been running since the 80s. Now, don't fret, you don't need to play every game within the series to understand it. In fact, that might be detrimental. Each game within the series is a standalone piece, with some exceptions. The series' main feature is the ability to summon and control demons. You pretty much always use some sort of computer to do so. You can also fuse demons together to create new demons for your survival. Most often, the series has multiple endings within each game. One where you follow, or Yahweh, and the angels to create a world of law, one where you follow demons to create a world of chaos, and one where you follow man and man alone, casting gods and demons aside. What's even better is that they all have pretty much equal merit. At least they would most of the time. They keep f***ing it up. Half the time it ends up being fascism versus anarchy. Every third law ending in the series involves you committing some sort of genocide. Sometimes they literally have you kill anyways, completely going against everything that the moral system is supposed to be. Sometimes is the antagonist no matter what you pick. I know Japan has had, let's say, a rockier relationship with Christianity and monotheism in general, but for the love of... try not to be too much of a new atheist. But don't worry, the games are still awesome, and law does get its moments to shine. So now that you know what SMT is, you still need to know how to play it, where to start, where you can get them, associated media, etc. and etc. So let's begin with advice for playing, because this series ain't for nincompoops. Now, in most RPGs, you don't really have to worry about elements. Enemy has an immunity to fire? Well, I just won't use fire for the rest of the battle. Not that big a deal. Enemy has an immunity to fire in SMT? Run. Run fast. It's too late for you. You can't escape anymore. Buffs are also your best friend in SMT. The reason for this, you silly, silly boy, is the press turn system. What is the press turn system, you ask? Now, keeping it simple, I don't want to recite everything about it. You hit a weakness, you get another turn. You miss or hit an immunity, you lose 2 turns. Enemy absorbs an element, you die. An additional element is that unlike other monster collecting games, you should not get attached to your demons. When they stop being useful, pawn them off. There is no heart of the cards in SMT. They are not your friends, they are your tools. And if you ever get stuck on a boss, odds are your team setup should be changed. Swap out or fuse demons to ones more applicable for that fight, and then you win. And that's about all I can give you for non-specific advice. As for any non-gaming SMT media, there's not much. There are some anime adaptations here, some manga there, but overall, not much worthwhile. Here in English-speaking lands, at least. Honestly, I'm sorry to say this to any non-gamers out there, but you can't really get the series without playing the games. I guess there's Persona Trinity Soul. It was an additional sequel to Persona 3 that I've heard mixed told things about. It was an animated show that spanned 26 episodes. Now that you've been fairly primed towards understanding SMT and are ready to start playing, what exactly should you start with? Well, there are a few games that I think are worth checking out, and I'll give you my reasoning for them. If you're interested in the best all-around game as your introduction, you should check out the Devil Survivor games. Devil Survivor 1 and 2 are some of the best games within the series, to be frank. Many of the mechanics and features in those games I think should be brought back as mainstays for the series, such as the demon auction and having a law route without genocide or complete tyranny, or both. In fact, in Devil Survivor 2, the law route, Ronaldo Kuriki's route, is the one I chose, and I think is probably among the best in that part of the game. You can find the Devil Survivor games on the DS and 3DS systems, though I recommend that you get the 3DS version by either spending too much money or downloading them legally. However, if you're more interested in the storyline specifically rather than the core gameplay elements, then I would recommend Strange Journey. I haven't played too terribly much of this one, but I know from others that it has one of the better storylines and routes. All of the routes have equal merit. The only problem is that the law route is ruined in the remake, which is why I'm not recommending it. Redux adds Alex, a girl from the future of whatever route you're currently on, who tells you about how much the future sucked. This causes relatively cool stuff to change in Chaos and Neutral, from what I've heard, if you listen to her, and Law to be completely ruined. Even Law in Redux has you face off against... Goodness sake, Atlas. In fact, in SMT, they constantly negatively portray and his followers within a negative light, portraying as vindictive, entitled to worship, and uncaring of his subjects, and portraying his followers as largely brainwashed or crazy. It's making me think. I wonder if there's some sort of social or cultural reason for this negative portrayal and the complete exclusion of the Christian Trinity. Jesus just never appears in the franchise. I guess occasionally you become the Messiah in some law routes. Whatever, I'm not a video essayist. Godless heathens! Anyways, you can find it legally on the DS and 3DS. As for my final game, if you just want to get directly into the challenge, just absolutely raw dog and give to that game, then I would recommend Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. I haven't gotten far in this one because I am silly and never know where to go at any given moment. This is one of the more difficult games within the series. The Matador fight is like the third boss fight in the game, and it alone is considered a really hard boss. Trial by firing you to make sure you know everything you need to learn to be good at these games. Though Nocturne doesn't really follow the standard alignment chart, instead the cast members each have a different reason which will determine what will happen to our Earth. I overall don't think this game is necessarily a great introductory game to get into the series, but if you want to jump straight into the thick of it, then Nocturne would probably be your best choice. Now, this is pretty much all of the knowledge I can give you. In honor of completion of this video, I give you the super good boy, or girl, or non-binary person badge. If you've made it to this point in the video, then make sure to brag about it in your comments. So, that's all, folks.